Welcome back to Bubble Bunny Tarot. Today we're going to do a general love reading for the month of January. So we're going to do what I like to call a 2-2-2-2 reading, which basically is we pull 2 cards from each of the deck and then we ask for some advice. So I have 4 main piles here, each with their own set of crystals. So if you need a moment, feel free to pause the video, take some time to meditate, and pick whichever card or crystal that you feel called to the most. Alrighty, hello, pile number 1. So you chose this wonderful card that is from the Guillermo del Toro deck. So let's flip it over and see exactly what it is first. Okay, so it's the 5 of Wands. So that's going to be the dominating theme of your reading today. Also, I apologize once again if you hear any noises in the background. So I'll put this card over here and then we will draw the cards. We're doing a little bit of a different order today. So, yeah. Okay. I'm also trying to shuffle a little bit different. Okay. This card. Put that there. What's gonna be for the first card? So these are the first sets of 2s that I'm pulling. So I'll be pulling 2 more cards from the other decks that were shown in the beginning. So I'll pull from Muerte Tarot. So, going on. That's a 5 January. That's 2. It's going on. Ooh, sorry, that one kind of fell out. Fell out on purpose. Okay. What is going on in primary ones look like? January. Okay. And we have the Kawaii tarot deck. So that one came up pretty fast. I'm gonna kind of stack them since I don't really have that much room, but there we go. These. What's going on? And pile number 1's life. Okay. Also, do not be alarmed if I'm not saying it out loud like I did with the tarot readings this time. I am focusing my attention on it. And yeah, just focusing on the cards. Okay. And then we'll also pull the 2 oracle cards for this reading are going to be from the crystal deck. We're not going to be using the witches today, so we're just going to be using the crystal deck, so going on balance of life for January. Alrighty then, let me grab the bottom of each pile to make a quick advice section. So let me keep my order for the hold. Okay, so this is going to be your little advice section. Okay. Alrighty, so let's have a look. See. We'll kind of shift these piles down until we're able to get a good look at all of them, and hopefully we'll have enough room to see. And I'd also like to clarify that this reading is for both singles and if you're in a relationship. I'm going to try my best to give you guys the most accurate interpretation or description that I can as possible. That's kind of why I have so many cards out for this reading in particular. This one's going to be a lot more in depth than my other love reading, one of the first two videos that I put out. And you can definitely combine the information that you learn from this reading with your zodiac reading to give you like a fuller picture. So yeah. And we're going to see what's going on with you, pile number 1. Oh, I also forgot to mention you guys had the lovely citrine crystal. It's quite big, but it's really pretty. All the little spikes. And so you had the 5 of Wands as your overall energies, which is pretty interesting. So kind of combative energy so far that I'm seeing. Okay. And then you have the Knight of Discs, which is the Knight of Pentacles in the traditional deck. And for these guys, you have, I believe this one is the 6 of Swords. And then you have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so Archangel Michael's Sword of Truth is definitely coming out. And then next part of your reading, so we got 2 of Wands. Okay, 2 of Wands. Try to scoop this up as best as I can. And then you have Judgment. Okay. I have to shift all these up a little bit so far. Okay. There we go. So we got Judgment. And then actually we'll do this one first. Oh, we got the Devil card. Okay. And the Hanged Man. Kind of interesting that you have the owl and the bat too at the same time. And then for the final pile, we have the Rider-Waite Tarot. So we had the 9 of Pentacles. It came out in reverse, but we don't take reversal, so we'll flip that back around with the 9 of Pentacles. And then last but not least, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so definitely so far what I'm seeing in terms of like your romantic life is that maybe previously you were in some type of relationship or a situationship, and this is going to be like the part specifically for the singles. But there was just a lot of conflict, so you felt the need to move away with the 6 of Swords and find your own truth. Like, I get the feeling with the Devil here, which traditionally signals toxicity and almost like hiding things, that you decided to just like move away from that energy, move away from that vibe. And with the Ace of Swords, you decided to call judgment and cut them out, is the overall energy that I'm getting from this. And at the moment, you are probably single or just trying to focus on yourself per se. So a lot in your own self-development, you're trying to plan what you want in a relationship in the future, and basically cultivate yourself and plant the seeds that need to be planted. So maybe you are, you were in this bad, quote unquote bad or toxic relationship, and now you're moving on, you're talking to other people, you're trying to find what's best for you while also cultivating like your own abundance and your own resources, is really what I'm seeing here in terms of the cards and the general energy. This also could be that you are in a relationship at the moment and there may be some conflicts going on, and I can also see this as you trying to be a conscientious partner. Sorry, a little bit of a difficult word. And you're trying to better yourself or possibly communicate better with your partner, because the Knight of Pentacles signals patience, and he's the slowest knight, but he does signal, he does overall in his general mean to be patient. So perhaps if you are in a relationship and are happy in the relationship, you're trying to be patient with your partner, and none of us are perfect. So perhaps your partner also might be showing, other than this like combative energy, it could be like some bad sides of them that perhaps you guys are like still working through. So that could be an alternative. And so instead of just like fighting just to fight, you are actively working on trying to figure out how you can communicate better and how you can work better with your partner. There's really a strong sense of just like self-cultivation overall within like the reading, whether you're single or you are in a relationship, and there is a lot of planning going on. So there's a lot of opportunities that are going to happen because you are starting to look towards the future and what's going on. And this also may be like a part of the conflict that's going on that you want to move away from. So like perhaps you want to have a future with your partner and they may necessarily not know what direction your overall relationship is going, and that might cause some frustration as well. But yeah, that's what I get overall from this situation, I think. I'm trying to feel for any other intuitive energies. Alrighty, I don't think that there's anything else going on here. I'm pretty sure that's the whole image. It was just like a really straightforward reading. So I'll have a look actually at the crystal cards, and then, or actually we'll look at your advice cards and then we'll look at the crystal cards for some other general energies. And the only other thing that I will mention before we switch over to the advice pile is right now is just a really emotional time in general, because we've recently had the full moon in Cancer, which is the home of the moon and emotions. And so right now everything is kind of like stirring and boiling in this pot at the moment in terms of just like love in general, and that's why I wanted to do this reading. So that also might explain some of the behavior that's going on, some of this conflict that's happening. But yeah, let me just clear the table really quick. get this out of the way. Okay, so these are the cards that we have for your advice pile number 1. Let's have a look. So the first piece of advice is going to be the 7 of Swords, which is interesting. And then we have the Page of Cups. Okay. And then the Sun. And last but not least, we have the 10 of Cups. Okay. And then before we break down this, let's look at the general energies with the crystal deck. So we have Amethyst, which is spiritual insight, creativity, psychic protection, and courage. And then Sapphire, which is channeled wisdom, psychic ability, self-expression, and destiny. So those are the overall energies. I'll try to push them up a little bit so we can get a good view. Okay, so what I see here is that things are definitely not what they seem. Because the 7 of Swords typically represents trickery, or it kind of represents this kind of selfishness. And so with this card is very drawing to read with kind of the other cards, because the Page of Cups is like an opportunity, like a love opportunity. So like if you're single, how I see at least like these 3 cards is that you're gonna get your wish fulfillment, because you are planning the life that you want and the kind of person that you want to be able to meet. And so 10s represent kind of wish fulfillments, and the Sun overall represents opportunities. So there's definitely love here, but like I said, there's something tricky about it and almost manipulative about it in a way. So perhaps because of the energies that are going on right now, this might go back to that conflict that you had experienced, and maybe you are still kind of healing from that situationship or that relationship, and you're having a hard time discerning whether or not this opportunity is like really what it is, which the cards are saying that it is a wish, like it's ultimately a wish fulfillment in the with the 10 of Cups. But on the surface it may not seem like that. So maybe you're talking to someone and they seem like they're trying to get your attention, but you're really not interested, or you have like this odd feeling about them that you can't quite pinpoint. And not to say that like you shouldn't follow your gut. Definitely follow your gut when it comes to like any sort of romantic relationship. But you know, everybody has their own issues and their own problems, and that's what affects them and how they behave in a relationship, just like in general. And so that's really what I'm sensing, is that maybe this person that you meet might have some sort of past that like throws you off, because like when you meet them like as a person, they seem like you're everything, but it's just that one thing that they're still healing from that you have to like be patient with. And this can also be applied to those who have partners. So maybe the conflicts that are happening with this emotional full moon that we just have come from a place of like vulnerability, where they might feel the need to be defensive or to be selfish because they don't feel stable, is what I'm getting. But this relationship, like, this is ultimately like your partner. Or this person is at least gonna bring you like great happiness. The only reason I'm not saying it like a soulmate or like a twin flame is I only say soulmates when two specific matching suits of cards come up, when the cards signal me that it's soulmates. But overall, this looks like, not to say that like you might not be soulmates, I just don't know, the cards didn't clarify on that, but this relationship that you are planting right now, if you're single, or that you currently are in if you are in a relationship, is something that will bring you happiness. It's just that there are going to be some conflicts that you guys need to be able to communicate and work through. And I think that's also why the sapphire is here with self-expression, because it seems like you are working on yourself, which is probably the best decision, because you can only control what you can control. But yeah, that's kind of, I'm pretty sure that's everything that I see here. Remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Maybe a certain piece of information is out there for someone else. And if you didn't resonate with the pile, feel free to pick another pile that calls out to you. Maybe you might have things that overlap with another pile. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching pile number 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's your reading. I hope you have a wonderful day. Alrighty, hi pile number 2. So you chose the card from the Santa Muerte tarot deck, along with this beautiful little amethyst cluster that I have, this little baby boy. So we're gonna take a look at what the overall energy is for your reading, and then we'll actually go into shuffling the cards and pulling them, and it'll be separated into 2 sections again, so the overall tarot reading and then your advice reading, and we'll be using the crystal oracle deck as kind of the general energies that are going on as well. So let's have a look. Ooh, so your pile got the moon. It did come up in reverse, but we don't take reversal, so switch that guy back around. So we have the moon, which is very, very mysterious. I'm going to kind of push it up here because we have been running out of space on my table. And so we'll shuffle deck. So what's going on in pile number 2's love life for January? Okay. This guy. And then we'll do this other deck. So what's going on? Pile number 2's love life in January 2023. And this is a reading for both singles and those who are in a relationship. Just an FYI. Oh, I feel this one. What's going on in pile number 2's love life this one? Put those guys together. And the reason, also don't be concerned if I'm not necessarily saying the question as I'm shuffling with intention, so the universe knows what I'm looking for. Oh, those two just kind of flew out. I'll do this one and this one. And the reason why I'm pulling for January is because there was recently a full moon in Cancer. So right now emotions are really high because the full moon's home is in Cancer. So a lot of conflict and things that are just going around. So I'm curious to see what energies are like. Last but not least, we're going to shuffle the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Ooh. This guy, okay. Okay, and then we'll do the crystal deck with the general energies, and then we'll pull from the bottom of each of the deck to make your advice pile, like we did with the zodiacs. So, general energies. Pile number 2 in January. This one, okay. So now, just give me 1 second to pull them in the order that they are in. Okay, so this will be your advice pile number 2. I'll set that aside for now. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle things over a little bit, just so we can make some more space. Alrighty, so let's look at the other card that you got from the Santa Muerte deck. Oh, the Knight of Pentacles, interesting. Knight of Pentacles. Then we have, it's the Five of Pentacles. Okay, I see. And then the Three of Cups. So that's it for Guillermo del Toro deck. I'll try to shift these down a little bit just to make some more room. Okay. So for the Divine Tarot, you have the King of Cups. It came in reverse, but we don't take reversals, so flip it back up. So, King of Cups energy. Ooh. Just getting a little stuck there. And then we have Justice. It came up in reverse, but we don't take reversals, so we'll flip it right back up. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, also in reverse, but we'll give it a little flip. The Knight of Coins. Okay, so we got the Knight of Pentacles twice, which is interesting energies. And then for the last two, you have the Nine of Swords, which came up in reverse, but we'll flip it. And then the Eight of Wands, which also came up in reverse, but we'll flip it again. So a lot of little reverse cards, but won't pay them too much mind. Okay. So let's see what's going on here in your love life, file number 2. Okay. So I'm getting the feeling that there was a situation in your past love life where you kind of felt like you lost all hope, and it caused a lot of anxieties. And it was a situation that was kind of hard to figure out someone's emotions. And the reason why I say that is because you have the Knight of Coins twice. So the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Coins, this could either be your energy or the energy of your partner's, but basically the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. So he's gonna take his time in any sort of relationship. He's not really gonna worry about it as much in terms of like timing. If it's gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. And that's what I kind of feel like with this Wheel of Fortune. So that might be how you are feeling, or that might be how your potential partner is feeling. So I do see that these feelings of anxiety and this feeling of like hopelessness or like abandonment that you had experienced before in prior relationships is gonna disappear. And that's mostly because of this Justice card right here. So the universe is gonna make things right, because the pendulum of life swings from one end to the other end. And that's also what I see with this King of Cups. So you are gonna have an offer or an opportunity potentially at a party or a celebration with this Three of Cups, and it's gonna happen pretty fast. Looking at this Eight of Wands is very fast communication. So maybe you're at a party and you meet someone and they're like, hey, can I get your number? And you're just like, sure. And then you guys start talking and it just like instantly clicks, is what I'm feeling. But there may be some hesitancy from the way that you've felt before in previous relationships. And that also might be why, if you are the Knight of Pentacles, that you feel that way. You can, like I said, you can flip them. So maybe you're the person who is the Knight of Cups, who finds this person super interesting and amazing, but they're just not quite ready to commit yet. But, oh, yes, because of this, like, moon energy too, I feel like one of you is also, I think that just goes back into the general Knight of Pentacles energy, where it feels like you don't know whether or not this person, like, 100% wants to be in a relationship with you. And I'm saying this kind of like illusion energy because things also might not be what they seem, because of the full moon that we had in Cancer, which brought up a lot of emotions, because that is where it belongs. Cancer's the moon's home is in Cancer, so that also might be why there are these influencing energies of like hopelessness and anxiety, but also these energies of like quick movement from the Eight of Wands. So that's what I see so far. Let's take a look at the advice and the crystal cards to kind of get a better picture on what you should do in this situation. So let's see. Okay, pile number 2. So this is your advice pile. It actually should be spread out like this, the opposite way. So there you go. So the first advice card that you have from the universe is the Ten of Wands. Okay, so definitely some burdens here. Let's look at the next card. The Three of Pentacles. Alrighty. And then you have the Ace of Swords in reverse. We don't take reversals, so we'll take it upright. So Archangel Michael, Sword of Truth, popping out. And last but not least, we have the Two of Swords. Okay. There's definitely... Or actually, wait, let's look into the crystal cards before I say anything. Just to kind of make sure we have the full picture. So the first crystal card you have is Titanium Rainbow Quartz, which is awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shift. I definitely feel like there's a powerful shift here. And then for the second crystal card, you have Moldavite, which is healing, protection, telepathy, and connection. So we definitely have the element of connection going on. And I also see the element of healing here, specifically with the Ten of Wands and this Ace of Swords, right? Because the Ace of Swords stands for truth, ultimately. And so what I see in your advice is that there's a choice that has to be made. In the original Rider-Waite Tarot, this specific card, sorry, my mind blanked for a minute, but this specific card stands or has a woman who has the two swords crossing, and so there are debates as to whether or not she is overseeing a duel or if she's choosing to flee from the island that she is currently on to this new island, which is in the background. And you can see this Two of Swords has a lot of the two motifs, so two dragons, two boats. And so ultimately, a choice has to be made in this relationship, and I feel like that choice mostly relates to commitment. I see this Three of Pentacles as like the beginning stages of a relationship intuitively when looking at this picture, because you can see the flowers sprouting from like a seedling to a more matured flower. So I think the choice here is to really determine whether or not you want to invest into this relationship, or if you're currently in a relationship, if you're willing to work it out with this person, because there are burdens here. It seems like there is still healing that needs to be done, in terms of like past happenings. So like the way that a person's been treated in a past relationship, like ultimately this person has to let go of those burdens on them, and this could be you or your partner, because we shouldn't be putting the wrongs of another person onto a completely different person. So like we shouldn't be holding grudges from our past onto our new partner, or our current partner if you are in a relationship. So what I see here is really being able to make a choice and to speak your truth with the Ace of Swords, and to determine whether or not you are going to cultivate this relationship. And the interesting part too is I look at the branches in this Ten of Wands deck, and I notice that each branch almost looks like it's cut off by a sword. So it's almost like you're cutting away at these burdens, or you're working on it. And like I said, this could be you or your partner. And so it takes a lot of energy to be able to shift and to be able to go down that route and to choose to heal. But ultimately, that's what's going to make your connection stronger. So that's how I can see the Moldavite here. Yeah, I don't see anything else. I don't pick up any other messages. So thank you so much, pile number 2. Hopefully you are able to find something that resonates. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because that might be for another person out there. But yeah, good luck, pile number 2, and thank you so much for watching. Alrighty, hi pile number 3. So you chose this card from the Diviner deck, as well as this little crystal quartz geode. I don't know if you can quite see how it sparkles in the light. Very pretty, very interesting. So this card that we have right here will represent your overall energies. And we're gonna have 2 parts to this reading. So the first part is really gonna be what's your situation, what's going on, and the second part is some general energies from the crystal deck and advice from the universe. So yeah, let's get right into it and let's see what your card is. Okay, so we have the 8 of Cups. Came up in reverse, but we're gonna flip that guy over. So keep that guy right there. And unlike my zodiac readings, we're actually gonna shuffle in between. So I'll shuffle all the cards right now, and then we'll go over the rest of your reading. So what is going on in pile number 3's life? Okay. So this guy. The Toro deck, and the reason I wanted to do a love reading, even though I just did the zodiac tarot readings not too long ago, is because we recently had a full moon in Cancer, and don't worry if I'm not speaking the question aloud. I am shuffling with intention, so the universe knows exactly what's asking for. But yeah, so there is a full moon in Cancer, so it opened up a lot of emotions because the moon is home in Cancer, so the Cancer is the moon's sign. So I'm quite interested to see what the energies are like for this reading. So I'll put that guy right there. What's going on? Ooh. Oh, interesting. There we go. So what is going on? Number 3's life. Okay. What's going on? And number 3's life. Geode. So we'll do that one. Okay. And then last but not least, we're gonna do the Rider-Waite tarot. So what's going on in bottom number 3's life? Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, so sorry, pile number 3. The card slipped out of my hand, so we'll reshuffle that. What is going on? Number 3's club life. Okay, this one. And what's going on? There we go. This guy. Okay. And then we'll do probably 2 crystal cards. So, definitely that one. And the last crystal card for pile number 3. So, oops. Got flipped over, but that's okay. We'll get to it. Okay. So now I'll pull from the bottom of each deck to make your advice. And we'll do it. Yeah. Also put my order, so this will be your advice pile. Now move that off to the side. Okay, and we'll move these guys off to the side as well, because I don't think we have enough room. Also, sorry about the noise if you heard that. Apologies. So let's see what the other card that you got in the Divine Tarot deck is. So, oh, you have the Ten of Swords. Okay. Interesting. And then you have the Valet of Wands. I believe this is the Page of Wands in the Guillermo del Toro deck, but let me double check on that. And then you have the Hermit. Okay. Interesting. So oops, shift it over a little bit. For the Santa Muerte deck, you have the Empress. This is an interesting vibe. And then you have, I believe this is the Eight of Wands. Or, no wait, this is a High Priestess. Or is this the Empress again? I might have to double check on this. This is a new deck that I got. So let me check on that one, but I'll pull out the rest of the cards first and then we'll get an overall view. So the Kawaii deck, you have Justice. And then you have the Seven of Coins. It came up in reverse, but we'll flip it. And then for the last two from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, we have the Star. Oh, wow. Okay. And the Ten of Wands in reverse. We don't take reversals, so we'll flip it back up. And we'll put those guys right there. And then just give me 1 second to just have a look and double check on this card. I think this card is the High Priestess card, but let me just make sure, because that one's the Empress. Okay, so I just confirmed with both decks. This is indeed the Page of Wands, and this one is the High Priestess. So intuitively, maybe things are not quite what they seem on the surface, or maybe your person or partner is not necessarily showing how they feel on the surface, and it could run deeper than that, which I wouldn't be surprised because of the full moon. But what I do see here in general was that there was a relationship that had ended and it caused you a lot of pain, and so now you're walking away from that old relationship and trying to find something new. But it seems like your priority is ultimately to cultivate yourself, as seen here with the Seven of Coins, as well as the Hermit. The Hermit is a card of isolation and kind of self-reflection, so perhaps you are reflecting on yourself, on what had happened in the past, and the burdens that you are carrying at the moment. And because you are cultivating yourself and doing this reflection, you are coming up into this Empress energy, which the Empress energy ultimately is I do not chase, I attract kind of energy. And Empress, there's no gender to the energy. Everybody has masculine and feminine within them, technically. So the other thing that I see here that's very interesting, if you are single, is that there is a wish fulfillment. So what the cards are saying is that even though you've gone through an immense amount of pain and burden in the past that you've walked away from, justice will be done and you will get into a new relationship that is your wish. And what I'm getting from is that this person is actually quite fiery. So I'm looking at this Page of Wands as like almost a descriptor card in the way of how their personality might be. They are probably charismatic, and it might be something unexpected that happens, but there's definitely soulmate energy with the Hermit and the High Priestess because they are counterparts. So the next relationship that you do get in will ultimately be a relationship with a soulmate. And I say soulmate in the aspect of like, this isn't a twin flame. This isn't a person who's just here to like teach you lessons and then leave. That's kind of what screams this other person in your prior relationship. That's kind of feels like what they are. When I mean soulmate, it means that this person is like meant to be in your life, as indicated by these two counterpart cards and this wish fulfillment card. If you are currently in a relationship, then I think this just kind of reflects on the past, because since we did have a full moon in Cancer, emotions may be rising from past relationships or maybe past incidences where you feel like you and your partner have had conflict and you are both able to communicate and move on from that conflict. And ultimately that communication has made your relationships stronger in a sense. And so that's why you two are counterparts. But yeah, I just get the vibe of you perhaps just cultivating yourself at the moment, and then this Star card and these counterparts card and this like Page of Wands coming in the future. And Page of Wands is like very excitable energy. It might also be like a little bit immature. So it could also be a person that is like slightly younger than you or just has like very youthful energy is what I'm getting from this. Whereas since you have matured into this Empress, you just have a more mature energy or mature vibe to you, as the Empress does here. And maybe that might be something that if you are in a relationship that you're working on, like you're working on almost like how to become better adults in a sense. I don't really know how to describe this. This like feeling, you know what I mean? Like it feels like something that's gone from a simple like high school crush into something more. That's kind of the vibes that I'm getting from this. If you are in a relationship. Okay, that's how I feel from these cards here. So I'm going to quickly clear the table and then we'll pull out your advice cards as well as the crystal cards. So yeah. Okay, so I have your advice cards right here. So I'll lay it out like this, exactly how we pulled them previously. So the first advice card that you have is the Devil. Interesting. And then the second, you have the High Priestess again. So definitely a lot of introspection energy, a lot of following your intuition type of energy. So if you have a feeling, go for it. Is definitely what the cards are saying. And then you have the Page of Swords. Okay. Page of Swords coming out swinging. And the Ace of Cups. Okay. So if you're single, there is definitely an opportunity for love here. An opportunity will emerge, especially with this emotional energy that is going on right now. And I think what the cards are encouraging you to be is to be faithful to your intuition and ultimately your truth. So if it doesn't seem like something that you really want, then definitely cut it out of your life or get it out of the way so you can eventually reach the opportunity of meeting this person who is your counterpart. Or if you are in a relationship and you are experiencing toxicity, the Swords is highly indicative of communication overall. So follow your intuition, say what needs to be said. Just be careful not saying things too harshly or in a hurried manner. Like I said, the Page of Swords, any pages are kind of an immature energy that needs refinement, so maybe refine your words, and through doing that you'll be able to have a very productive conversation and ultimately improve your overall relationship. But that's what I'm feeling from those cards. Let me have a look at the crystals. And I actually did this out of order. I'm supposed to look at the whole thing with the crystals, but I just saw all of the cards and I immediately knew exactly what to say. So I feel like this is just a very strong message that's coming through. So let's have a look at the general energies of these crystal cards to see if they can add anything else. So for the first crystal card, you have Black Obsidian, which is strength, support during changes, everyday stress relief, and clearing negative energy, which I feel like is really big in this reading. Clearing that negative, toxic energy that builds up over time is extremely important, not just in relationships, but in all aspects of your life. And then for the second crystal card, we have the green jade, which is attracting love, balance, dreams come true, and purity. So like I said, we had the star card earlier, so if you're single, there's definitely a dream come true coming for you. There's definitely an opportunity, but you need to follow your intuition and you need to maintain a balanced position. So don't go out with a guy, girl, whatever suits your fancy, they, thems. I'm trying to be all inclusive here. But don't go out with a partner or someone who could be a potential partner just because they're attractive. Think about the things that you actually want in this person before engaging in a relationship with them. And then if you are currently in a relationship, it's like I said before, it's important to clear out negative energy even within your relationship itself. So if there are things that you are still working on or think that need to be worked on, have that conversation. Just remember not to be too harsh or to be too impulsive when saying what you need to say. Take the time to really think about the things that you want to mention and how you're going to say them to that person, because ultimately it's going to make your relationship better, and it's going to get rid of this toxic negative energy over here caused by the devil. But yeah, that's all I'm getting for your reading. So hopefully you were able to find a piece of advice that resonates for you. Yeah, take like what resonates, leave what doesn't, and I hope you have a wonderful day, pile number 3, and thank you so much for watching. Alrighty, hi pile number 4. So you picked this card from the Kawaii Tarot deck, as well as this Smokey Quartz, which is super pretty, has a little crevice in there, kind of rough on this side. So let's have a look at your love reading. Yeah. So let's look at what the general energies are going to be for you. Ooh, the Hermit. Okay. So general energy being kind of isolation. We'll clarify this with the other tarot cards, and this is going to be like a two-parter, so we'll do all of the cards that explain your situation, what's going on with you, and then we'll look into the general energies and advice from the universe. So yeah, let's see what is going on. Pile number 4 with our love life in January. And if I don't speak the words out loud, do not be alarmed. I am putting out my intentions as I'm shuffling. Sorry, this deck over here is a little bit hard to pick up. What is going on? Pile of Quartz. So, this guy and the card that just decided to pop out. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing a love reading so soon after I just posted, oh, that one just flew, oh my god, sorry. So anyways, the reason why I'm doing a love reading so soon after the zodiac tarot readings is because we recently had a full moon in Cancer, and the moon is home in the sign of Cancer, so I wanted to see what kind of the general energies were with everybody. And I'll take this one, but that's too many, so put that back in there. What's going on in pile number 4 is love life. Oh, sorry, this guy. Okay, and then last but not least, we'll do the Rider notebook. Okay. So, what is going on? What's going on in number 4, just the love life. There we go. Okay. And then we'll take the cards from each pile as a form of advice from the universe. So this is going to be the advice pile, and then we'll pull the crystal cards. Okay. What's going on? Pile 4. Life. Okay, so I'm going to move these guys over here just to kind of make a little bit more room on the table. So let's go over what's going on in your love life for January. Okay, so other than the Hermit as your overall energy, the next card is the Chariot. It came up in reverse, but we will flip that guy around. And then from the Guillermo del Toro deck, you have the Seven of Swords, interesting energy, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, let's see. From the Santa Muerte tarot deck, you have the World. Okay, definitely something starting. And then the other card that you have is, I believe this is the Six of Cups. Yes, this is the Six of Cups. I almost confused it for the Nine of Cups. And then from the Divine Tarot, you have Judgment. Judgment. And the Queen of Wands again, but this time it came up in reverse, but we don't take reversals. So strong Queen of Wands energy here, which is interesting. Okay, and then for the last cards in your overall reading, we have the Two of Wands in reverse, but we'll flip that guy, and then you have the Magician in reverse, but we'll flip him right side up. Okay, so I definitely see here that Judgment was ultimately called Judgment in the original Rider-Waite Tarot. Is symbolized by these angels calling forth these people to essentially rise from their coffins, and so they have to make the choice of whether to step out of the coffin to essentially get into heaven or to stay in the coffin. And so that's kind of the overall energy that I feel is going on here, and maybe this this past relationship might not have exactly been what it seemed like it was going to be at first. Okay, sorry about that. Pile number 4. Something just came up briefly, but you had, what I was saying was that there's an element of trickery in your past relationships, and overall what's going on is that now you are kind of cultivating yourself, it seems like, and you're rushing forward towards something new, and you're planning what your ideal person, how they are, what they're going to be, and kind of like your life ahead of you. And in essence, you're manifesting someone new in your life is what I feel. Or if and this person who you're manifesting is very much this Queen of Wands fiery energy. The Queen of Wands is very charismatic. She, in the original tarot deck, she is sitting with a black cat because she simply does not care that the black cat is a symbol for luck. She's just gonna do like what she wants to do. And I get the feeling that this Queen of Wands could either embody you moving forward, or like who you are becoming, or it could be the potential partner that is going to enter into your life. So this feels like the start of a new cycle according to like the World card. There might be an element of so-called divine timing. I'm getting a little bit of that from the World, but not as much as if it was like a Wheel of Fortune card. But I feel like this is the start of something new for you, and yeah, you're just manifesting the things that you want at this moment. and taking this time to just evaluate in your own solitude, but at the same time you're moving forward towards your goals, if that makes sense. So let's see what your advice cards are, because I feel like your advice cards are going to give us a little bit more information as to potentially who this Queen of Wands could be, if it is a potential relationship. I mean, this definitely could be yourself. Additionally, if you're in a relationship, what I see here is that you are kind of blossoming out of your shell at the moment. So it's a little less about like the relationship itself, and it's more about you as a person, is kind of the vibes that I'm feeling here. Or maybe you want to embody this fiery, exciting energy in the Queen of Wands into your relationship, but it's a little tricky. There's something maybe relating to you and your partner's past that might prove things a little bit difficult. But overall, this kind of feels like a fresh new start, whether you're single or in a relationship. So let me see what the advice cards are. So let me clear the table really quick. Okay, so these are your advice cards, pile number 4. So let me lay them out. We'll have a look at them, and then we'll look at your crystal cards, and then we'll give you the overall advice that the universe wants you to hear. So let's see. First advice card is the King of Wands. Okay, so we have big counterpart energies. The King of Wands is married to the Queen of Wands. You can't have one without the other, so this definitely is like a soulmate connection kind of vibe. If you are in a relationship, or if you're looking for a relationship, your next relationship is gonna be it gives off soulmate energy. And I mean soulmate in that you are like meant to meet this person, not like a twin flame energy where you're just meeting them to learn a lesson, if that makes sense. Let's look at the second card, which is the Two of Swords. It came up in reverse, but I'll put it like this. Put it back up. And then you have the Eight of Coins. Okay. And last but not least, you have the Queen of Cups. Okay. Let's have a look at the crystal cards before I get into more advice. So the crystal cards that you have are fluorite, which is personal protection, getting organized, or a cloak, and cooperation. And then for the second crystal card, you have jet, which absorbs negativity, grounding, financial balance, and healing grief. So I definitely feel like a grounded energy in this getting organized coming off of the fluorite and the jet cards. Let me move these guys down. So your advice, what it seems like is that similar to the reading that we had, there is going to be an opportunity for love if you are single, but there's a choice here with this Two of Swords. And in the traditional Two of Swords, you have a woman who's sitting with the swords crossed, and so there's a debate as to whether or not she's there presiding over a duel between two suitors, or if she's choosing whether or not to flee to the island behind her or stay on the island that she's currently at. So there is a choice to make. I feel like this is a choice as to whether or not you want to actively pursue this relationship or to continue being on your own, because of this Eight of Coins. This Eight of Coins is a cultivation card. You're cultivating yourself at the moment, or the universe is highly encouraging you to keep cultivating yourself, and when the opportunity arises to figure it out and make the choice. But ultimately, this choice is going to be good for you. I'm seeing this Queen of Cups not necessarily as your potential partner, but as you, because the Queen of Cups actually in the original deck, she has her cup covered. So even though she has the prettiest cup in the entire suit, she's not gonna let anyone touch her cup. You know, she's not gonna let anyone in. So it's really, what I'm really picking up from this Queen of Cups is having that discernment. If you are talking to multiple people, which could also definitely be possible, especially if you are, your partner isn't this Queen of Wands, King of Wands, like very charismatic energy. If this is you, like, because this charismatic energy could be you. I think that's it for the advice cards. Actually, I'm not picking up anything else. Pile number 4. So I hope there was a piece of advice that resonated with you. Remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because it could be useful for another person out there. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck moving forward, and thank you so much for watching. I always really appreciate it.